Hello, my name is Katie Short, and today I will be speaking to you regarding fracking. Oklahoma experienced over 585 earthquakes in 2014, which was 3 times the amount that were experienced in California in the same year. These earthquakes were not caused from being located on a major fault line or chance natural disasters, but rather they were repercussions of human activities. As reported by The New Yorker, fracking has created a new phenomenon, man-made earthquakes. Fracking, or also called hydraulic fracturing, is believed to be the cause of the increase in earthquakes that occur in states with a large oil and gas presence. Fracking also seems to be responsible for a reduced water supply in many of these states. BBC describes the process of fracking as the deep drilling into the earth followed by a high-pressure release of chemicals and water to release natural gas or oil from shale rock. The increased prevalence of fracking has created growth in the oil and gas industry, but has ruined ecosystems, polluted water, and continues to harm the planet. Fracking has major economic benefits for oil and gas areas, but are those economic benefits worth the environmental harm? Some of the economic benefits that fracking provides are making up a large portion of the oil and natural gas industries here in America. In February of 2015, fracking accounted for 49% of oil production and 54% of all natural gas output in the country. This was detailed by the Wall Street Journal. Because fracking accounts for such a large portion of our domestic production, it keeps our outsourcing to a minimum, keeps fuel prices low for the American people, and helps them save on energy costs. Although the economic effects provided are positive, do they overpower the negative effects created by fracking? Vanity Fair illustrated several towns along the Delaware River in Pennsylvania who experienced the downfalls of fracking firsthand. The river is largely leased to fracking and oil companies and was quickly overtaken by the oil and gas processes. The river is now endangered, and the water, along with the water in the surrounding area, has been contaminated and largely depleted. One town, Dimmock, had brown water that made citizens sick at one point. Other citizens have trouble dealing with the oil companies who lease their land and have to deal with severely depreciated land prices. Another instance, detailed by The New Yorker, shows how earthquakes are now an everyday occurrence in Oklahoma. Something that used to happen only once or twice a year now happens daily and is advertised or reported on the news along with the weather. Fracking has caused the land to deteriorate in these areas, and conditions will only worsen with its increased use. How can we find a balance between the need for energy and our need for economic sources while still preserving the environment that we live in? One alternative solution is to take action to limit fracking. This can be done through legislation and higher taxes. Some states have already made the move to ban fracking in their states. Other states have also enacted higher taxes for fracking to discourage it and to put more financial hardship on the companies that have a large presence in it. It would be difficult to eliminate fracking altogether because of the high volume it produces, but reducing it and finding other means for energy is a start. Another alternative is to put more research and incentives into alternative energy sources. This can include biofuels, wind power, solar power, and other sources that have not yet been discovered. Although they may not completely replace oil and natural gas, they can be suitable replacements for a large portion of them. Alternatives will probably not solve the entire problem that fracking has created, but can put the oil and gas industry on the right track to uphold ethical standards and maintain our environment. In order to get on track, Americans must be aware of the damage that fracking causes and understand that it devastates our environment. It does stimulate the economy and keeps fuel prices low for Americans, but at what cost? Is the environmental harm okay to be put on the back burner for these economic benefits? To me, the environmental harm is much greater and long-lasting than today's economic benefits. I would rather find alternative energy sources or new modes of transportation for Americans rather than live in a world with constant earthquakes where the planet is constantly deteriorating. Oil companies and all Americans must work hard to resolve these issues in order to maintain the earth and its environments. Thank you.